very honored to have with us members of the Bond Street Theater from New York. But what is so special is they are not performing here by themselves, but they are working with students from the University of Arts and Culture in Baku.
And this isn't just on any artistic endeavor, it's social theater. And that's what's so exciting about what Bond Street does and what they're bringing here to Azerbaijan is this concept of social theater.
As typical of our work, we've come here without specific intention, just to ask them what kind of issues do they want to talk about. Coming into the space in the studio and not really knowing what you're going to do, but get inspiration from your imagination and then also what others are providing. And especially when we're traveling and working with groups like this, we want to be inspired by them.
Bond Street came in and talked to the students and got from them what they cared about and how they wanted to address it, what they want to see their society become.
You know, when you write a play, sometimes you start writing it, it goes this way, and then it starts to go this way, and you try to nudge it back, and then it goes this way, and then it starts to whoop, and then you have to nudge it back. So the play takes on a life of its own. The play is about domestic violence now.
So theater exercises are not so new to them, but the idea of working together in discussion, us sitting in a circle and discussing how we felt about something, are things that they're not really used to.
I mean, youth are usually the last people to be asked what their opinion is. And very often their opinion is dismissed. And they're going to have to voice their opinion in some other way that is violent or extremist in some way. So this is giving them another way to express themselves. During the week of workshops, we gathered a lot of these issues, focus on domestic violence, women's rights, corruption in the healthcare system.
How did we take these issues and make them into a play in 1 week?
Joanna and Michael told us that they would develop the script and the play while they are here in Azerbaijan.
This is drama. Oh, the father is rejecting his daughter.
1 week of training, and after that, within a week, develop the script and putting a play together, that's almost impossible.
My wife is trying to convince me to let the daughter go to college, and I have to say,
Ashe,
which basically means do as you like or whatever. Farghani thought I was saying ashak, which is both a Afghan dish, kind of like a ravioli, and it also means donkey in Azerbaijani, apparently. And he was saying, why are you saying donkey at that point? And I said, no, I'm saying ashe.
don't listen to him. This is what was going on last night. Don't listen to him. Listen to me.
Freeze. Then the narrators come out. Is this an argument? No way! Huh? What ridiculous idea. Is it true parents will sell their daughters for money?
My main character as a narrator is to ironically criticize the father who marries his daughter to the highest bidder. And making fun of that, the audience is not laughing at me, but realizes the huge problem that exists in our society.
Get out of the house. And he says, yeah? Well, if he marries her, get out of the house. So they're both disowning their children. So it's like a cross.
And always theater's painting a picture. And our basic premise is that you can't tell people what to think, but we can point to situations that paint a picture.
A lot of people did respond to us and say that the play was very heartfelt. There's a real genuine, they really got the message and got the visceral response. Because I'm told domestic violence is a real problem here, and they were identifying with things here.
My character grew up in an abusive family. He started out good-natured, but seeing his father beat his mother changed him, and he becomes an abusive person in his own family. But at the end of the play, he breaks the cycle of violence.
I think that the students have never tried to do a show this way before, and it's a new experience for them to start from an issue and create small pieces and then create the full play from that. Our play right now is called Moon Cycles because we see passing of time represented by the moon. The theme of the play is breaking the cycle of domestic violence. So it is a cycle, we see it with the father and then we see it with his son, and so that's all represented by this moon that keeps going around and around.
So in their workshops, they were teaching the students various different drama techniques.
I'm talking to them over there!
When Michael first introduced us to this training room, he said, to other people, this room is empty, but to us, actors and directors, this room is not empty. We have to fill it with our own imagination and creativity. Theater is like a mirror to society. It helps us to see our own mistakes, but also, theater helps us to find the right path.
Many of the training methods they use, they are not easily available for students here, like stimulating imagination, leadership development, team building and collaboration. These are the very essential elements of the training.
What we are doing is something extraordinary. It is not a typical theater.
Hello, in English.
Our play is not a typical or familiar play.
In terms of corruption, where every class that you take it in grade school, you have to give a little present in order to be able to get the grade, in order to be able to take the exam. Take the exam, you notice I said not pass the exam. There may be, there's a higher price for everything.
In a scene where I'm playing the teacher, we wanted to see how we could incorporate ourselves inside the show as well as being on the outside and helping kind of just shape it, right, and direct it based on all the students' ideas.
And that's what's amazing about social theater is they're taking those discussions and reflections on the students' own community and then turning that into a play, which then becomes a message they can share as we're now on tour here in the region.
In medical care, literally, you have to sort of bring a pile of money with you because you have to bribe to get the medicine prescribed, and then to get the medicine in hand, you have to pay a bribe. But this younger generation, I think, cares very much about changing that culture and try to do it through the arts. It's exciting, it's neat, becoming an agent for change.
At the end of the play, when Layla says, who's at fault? I'm at fault, you're at fault, we're all at fault.
Bribery, corruption, and domestic violence. These are actual and real issues in Azerbaijan. We shouldn't blame one individual person. We should blame ourselves. We should blame the society.
The main character, Layla, she says, I will not be silent, I will be brave, I will not be afraid. This message is really strong. She must and should definitely be a role model to women, especially young women.
When we finish the performance and the audience is given a chance to ask questions, it's the students that are there defending their work on behalf of the Bond Street Theater sometimes, because they are sharing the value of social theater, the value of this type of collaborative project.
I think Western philosophy is based on the concept that a good environment will produce a good person. But in Eastern philosophy, it is a good person that brings change to the surrounding society. I very much believe in that Eastern approach.
What we're doing in these very short-term projects is primarily we're hoping to discuss how do we work together in communities to solve these issues.
Bond Street Theater's mission altogether is to create mutual understanding between cultures, between even local populations, to use theater as a way to do peace building. And I know peace building is a little bit cliche these days, but really you do build peace through being able to have reasonable conversations in some sort of way. And our epiphany moment, I believe, happened in Israel in 1984. It was completely inter-ethnic and inter-age. And there were Kurds and Yemenis and Israelis and Palestinians all working together. There were 40 of them. And we created these big street pageants. So their goal was not, oh, this guy's Palestinian, oh, this guy is Ethiopian. It was like, make sure that the play looks beautiful. That was that moment where we realized that theater could do that. Theater really works.
We are very interested with your theater, and I want to say thank you and you are welcome to our sunny Azerbaijan. Thank you very much.
And that's what Bond Street has really enabled here through this program, is giving these students a voice, a way to engage with their community. And a lot of the students have said that they want to continue the engagement through theater on important issues for their community. And these are ideas that they'll take with them in their careers as actors and directors.
How to communicate with an actor, how to work on a play, I learned here. Bond Street Theater changed me 100%.
I think what Bond Street does is creating a space for discussion and encouraging students to trust their own feelings. Every idea that the students bring forth, the answer is always maybe, it's possible. And then the student thinks, well, maybe it is possible, and maybe that is something I can do.
Because now that you know these things, you are now in a position to start training other people. Some of the young people came to me and said, I want to do social theater, I want to do it, but how do I do it? And I said, talk to these guys.
We also have certificates.
Joanna and Michael, they always encouraged us to express our thoughts and ideas. They never said no. Even if they didn't like it, they said maybe.
In our culture, maybe means yes. In the Western culture, maybe is polite no. And I translated it as no to students, and they said no. She said maybe, not no.
Then I realized that Joanna has a really amazing experience, and that's why she says all the time maybe.
And to a fantastic continuance of maybe theater, and may theater save the world. I really believe, like the play that we're creating, that it takes a whole village to make a change.